What is up, everybody? How you guys doing today? Thank you for swinging in. So, today I decided to have a little discussion about the state of the game where it comes to Mortal Kombat 11. So, I rounded up a couple of peeps that I know who are actually high level players. I'm going to introduce them and then we're gonna kind of go through some discussions. There might be some trash talk. There's gonna be some hilarium. Okay, so I don't know what the hell is going on, but I'm gonna send out the call and we're gonna try and get everybody. I'm going to introduce them right now, and I'm gonna have Green, who's hopefully gonna be freaking moderating, but I don't think that's gonna be happening. He's gonna be instigating. So I'm gonna be having Slinksowavy. You guys should know that person. Was doing the 2v2s battle. Got constantly top 8 in Dream Eater's Nightmare series, but did the 2v2 battles that was on Slayer's stream. He was with Koizi. I'm also going to have Rietzche, who was another top 8 combatant on the Nightmare series, a very top level player. He knows what he's doing. He always whoops my ass, so I want to hear his input, as well as Hijinks. I believe Hijinks has won actually the Nightmare series and is a very strong competitor. And we will also be having Stryker. Stryker will be a part of the discussion as well. So I wanted to get these people in here, see what they think about the Mortal Kombat, where it's going. So yeah, let's kind of get this started. I'm gonna send the call out, and we'll see if we can pick these people up. And we'll have Green in here, of course, gonna help me moderate all that we're gonna be hearing. But I already know he's not gonna be doing it. He's gonna be trying to instigate battles. All right, I think we do have Stryker up in here. I think we have Stryker in here.
At heart, dude, so I'll be doing my best.
Yeah, thanks, dude. The only thing I want to know is how would I be able to get the your guys' overlay onto the stream? So, I'm not entirely sure how that would work.
I've had it before. I think it's just like a setting that you turn on.
Do I have to add Discord into the thing?
Yeah, I think it's like a Discord thing where shows your overlay for you. It's kind of like how it was on Xbox where it shows who's talking. You just do it with Discord and it'll pop up an overlay of everyone.
Right. I'm not entirely sure how to set that up. Maybe I should have done that before the stream. Discord voice is super low, by the way, Junk. My Discord voice? Well, I'm coming through the stream, so I don't think that will be that big of a deal.
So but it's possible that it's me coming in low.
Is it Green that's coming in low? I have him at full volume. I'm gonna have everybody at full volume. We got Slink in here. We got Stryker in here. Is everybody here? Everybody?
We're missing Hijinks.
We are missing Hijinks, but I wanted to kind of already get it started.
But he'll play Jackie, so he'll leap his way in here sometime.
And there we go. We already got some of the trash talk happening. So, how are you guys doing today? Hope you guys are having a good one. Very chatty.
I'm doing pretty great.
Good.
I'm doing pretty good too.
Glad to hear. You're tired? I'm sorry to hear that, Slink. But, so yeah, today I am here with Slink. We got Stryker, we got Rietche, and we're still waiting on Hijinks to possibly add to the call. But I wanted to know already, just from who I have in this discussion so far, I want to start with Stryker. What do you think? How do you feel about the game where it is right now? Do you think the game is in a good place, or are you looking forward to the new patch that is going to be coming out soon?
I think the game is in, I'm not going to say a horrible spot, but it's far from perfect right now. The wake-up system is a joke. Some hitboxes are awful. I think there's some variations that are completely useless, like V3 rating, for example. Like, there's just some things that are just like there's no reason to pick certain things over others. So I'm glad that at first glance I really wasn't looking forward to the customs, but I look at it a bit more deeper and I'm like, man, it is going to make the game more fun. It's going to add way more diversity to the game. And they're fixing the wake up system, so I think they are taking a big leap in the right direction with this patch. So I think it's going to be a way better game afterward. But NRS has a backstory of letdown, so let's just hope this isn't another one.
I mean, you're not wrong, and I do agree with you how like they are kind of trying to step in the right direction. Like I like that they're making that change to the wake up system with the get up. But they're still not doing things like changing the buttons for breakaway, even though a ton of people still are
Yeah,
getting
that
the
needs to go.
accidental breakaways and stuff. I mean,
I I don't know if you noticed, but they released a trailer like a week ago or so, maybe a few 4 days, of Melina, and it had like Johnny Cage like telling her backstory, and it's funny because
yeah.
you could you could see Melina throw a sigh at I think it was Collector, and he literally
was
gets a
Collector,
breakaway
and
afterward.
he does an accidental breakaway after.
They did an accidental breakaway in their own trailer.
oh my
Like,
god.
that's crazy.
And you can always tell when it's an accidental breakaway. Like honestly, you can always tell. I mean, Slink, what do you have? Do you have anything to add to that question that I asked Steak?
Yeah, the mistakeaways have to go.
The mistakeaways. I love that. I've never heard
That's
that called.
If you want my honest opinion, I think a lot of characters in this game need a rework. I feel like there's characters in this game that are unfinished. Like for me, speaking from a Sindel standpoint, she's an unfinished character. I feel like they just stapled her with like one move, which is 4-4 up 3, and you just have to use that. Like she's boring, and I feel like a lot of characters in this game either are like boring or they don't have enough diversity to them, which is why I'm excited why customs is coming. But at the same time, I feel like customs can either make or break the game, especially in the competitive scene. But we'll see what they like ban and what they nerf and fix when the patch comes.
And how do you feel about the customs for Sindel? Are you getting anything beneficial from it, or?
To be honest, her tournament variations are her best ones. It's literally just her tournament variations, and you add the projectile onwards. So I mean, not really.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm just playing her tournament variations.
I saw that you were messing with her like regal presence, like custom. Is that like something like
it's
worth
not
using,
good.
or is it just?
No,
it's just
it's
like
not
okay.
Good. It takes up 2 slots, and you're not gonna get like any combos or anything off of it. So there's really no point in using it.
Gotcha.
At least not at a high, maybe like at a casual level for fun, yeah, but at a high level, that's not gonna work.
And we haven't heard
So
anything
basically,
from
like,
Rietzche. Oh, go ahead, Green.
So it's basically like her variation. Like I see a lot of people using her variation 2 with like the air jump and the like banshee, like that plus the low star screamer. Those are like her best at the moment.
In my opinion, that's the one I use.
So Rietzche, when it comes to you, how do you feel about the game, where it's going? Like, do you think that it's in a good place, or do you think there's still a lot more adjustments that NRS needs to make?
I mean, in my opinion, I think the game is in a perfect position. It obviously could get better, but from my experiences, I think that the only thing that could improve the game is just quality of life changes, like hitbox, issues getting fixed, and I think they did address that. They said that they are getting fixed, like Johnny's. But I think so far, characters could use some tweaks, but not too much, because I think some characters are perfectly fine.
You know what? I feel like the biggest issue with this game is definitely hitboxes. Please fix the hitboxes in this game for every single character. Like Sindel's low star screamer, even though I main her, is absolutely fucking broke, and it can hit you like out of the air when she amplifies it. It's ridiculous. Like Jade's down 2 hits me when I'm behind her somehow. Scorpion's overhead hits me when I'm behind him. Like the overhead, like the hitboxes in this game are ridiculous, and they just need to fix that.
Yesterday, I hit somebody with my RoboCop flame from behind. Like
I saw it was on Crispy Fungus, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like. Yeah, it was like Sunio versus Crispy Fungus. Crispy Fungus teleports behind him, and Sunio does a flamethrower, and it still hits him.
Yeah, it's stuff like that that needs to be adjusted.
Like, yeah, there's definitely I think like a few adjustments that definitely need to be addressed and fixed and stuff like that. But I mean, me personally, I think the game is still good. I mean, honestly, like when you look at games like Street Fighter or Tekken or anything like that, I I don't see as many of those like, and I'm doing the quote, things with my hand, MK11 issues that happen in that game. I've never seen a Hadouken hit from behind. Like it's
Hmm.
weird. Or some of these hit animations, like Raiden doing his sweep and it hitting you in the air. Like I don't know. So like there's definitely some fixes that I think internet needs to address and fix, but I'd still give this game like, like at least a 7, out of 10 because I still have a lot of fun with the game, but even with these kind of issues, it's definitely not perfect. Um Green, do you have a question that you want to ask these
So
people?
yeah, this is gonna go for more like character specifics, and it's gonna go directed to everyone. We'll start with Stryker. Uh, when it comes to your character into the current meta as it stands, what are some like common misconceptions or things that people normally get wrong with how that character plays or how they're supposed to play at a high level?
One of the things about Terminator, I'm sorry, you're my dog in the background. I'm trying to suppress that as much as possible. But one thing about Terminator, a lot of people misunderstand. They're like, oh, just get in a mix. And I like to downplay for the memes, but I'm not like I know where my character really is, and I'd honestly put him like right outside top 10. He is a very, very hard character to place on a tier list because he's based on the opponent guessing wrong. But he has a few matchups that are like absolutely appalling, and he has like some things where he can easily get started no matter what at some point in the matchup. But a lot of things people misunderstand is how to punish certain things or how to deal with certain aspects, and maybe they'll think he's better than he is, or maybe they'll think he's worse than he is. But a lot of people definitely misunderstand Terminator because he's never played, and two, I feel like people just never like take him to the lab. They just think, oh, I just got to guess right. But like, no, it's a lot more than that.
So you think people just see him as just another mix machine and not like
I
as a
think
character that does have like footsie potential?
he, come on, stop barking. He does have like he's got decent footsies. Like he's not bad. Like 1-2-1 is actually, in my opinion, one of, if not the best jab string in the game. It's really dumb. Like he's definitely got some stupid footsies, but he, I think people are either overlooking him or just like completely ignoring him completely. Like they're throwing him to the side. Like, oh, I just got to guess right against this character and that's it. Like no,
Uh,
there's many layers to this character, and there's a lot of flaws to him that they also don't know because they don't look into him enough.
So it's mainly just people not really taking time to learn this character to see what he can do and just saying it's like, oh, it's just like Sub-Zero. If I guess right, then I can just beat this character.
That's kind of what I'm getting out of it for the most part. Like, and I had some on top of my head, I just forgot it.
Well,
But
Mixinator.
I
like,
mean, yeah.
listen here, Sindel player, let me talk.
Let me talk. I mean, I mean, you make a really good point, Stryker. You definitely make a really good point. I mean, uh, I don't know if you want to add on top of that, Slink, but like, how do you feel about like the same question going to you, like, and any of these questions, guys? If a question comes up and you guys want to add on top of it, it's open discussion after like the person gets their 2 cents on it. But like, when it comes to your character specifically, do you feel like the tier list really matters, or is it more
Um,
along the player?
I don't really pay attention to tier list. I feel like it's more on the player. People say that characters carry, which is true. Characters can carry at a mid to casual level, but at a high level, I feel like characters don't carry. You're not gonna beat you like you're not like I can't pick up Cetrion and go and zone out Ninja Killer
Mhm.
because she carries because she has a good zoning. This, you know, it's not how it works. You can't just pick up a character and think that you're just gonna go and win a ton of tournaments at a high level. You know, when it comes to my character, I feel like people complain. Things they complain about most are her scream, her forward 4 up 3, and her mix. Her scream hitbox should be adjusted. I will say that because it hits from above and it hits from behind her, which is broke. Her mix, I feel like people complain she's not really a mixed character. I've been playing fighting games since Injustice 1, so I used to have to react to like 10 frame overheads back in Injustice and stuff like that. And MKX was all mixed, and people complain about like reacting to like a 25 frame overhead, etc. You know, so I just feel like that's more on the player when they're not reacting to said mix, because you know it's reactable. Her forward 4 up 3, she needs it. That's all I'm gonna say.
I need to stop you right
I mean, that's her best string. Why am I not going to use her best string?
It's your
It's the only string she has. Right? Whose fault? That
doesn't mean I'm defending Sindel though. I'll take 1 string over 5 if I get that. That's crazy.
To be honest, I don't. It's boring. It's really boring. It's boring to just sit there and spam 1 string like the entire game. I would rather them get rid. To be honest, I would rather them get rid of that string and them give me creativity and more strings over just spamming 1 fucking string the whole game. Like, that shit is dumb. And it's like in other past NRS games, like they didn't do that with other characters, but in this game they tend to do that with a lot of characters where they just give a character like 1 certain play style and they just expect you just to do that the entire time.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree.
Yeah, they're trying to like make the game simpler for like noob-friendly people to come in, but it feels like that they've made the game like sort of too simple to where you only rely on 1 thing and you're not using your character's entire kit instead of just using just 1 thing over and over.
Yeah, I mean, as a Kano player, I rarely use my 2-2. Like, I usually go for the 2-4 to try and clip somebody thinking that, you know, they're going to get hit by the low. And, I mean, and going to, like, Rietzche, like, I feel like Johnny has a good, you know, arrangement of strings that he can go off of, but then he got nerfed, so, like, he was able to, like, he lost his ability to, like, change it up when he lost his plus frames.
I feel like
I don't think that the nerf on his plus frames necessarily did anything to his playstyle. I do think that it hurt him a little bit. Like, I don't think Johnny is as good as people think he is. I think he does have quite a few losing matchups.
I feel like Katana is a perfect example of when they give a character a bunch of useless strings. Like, they just give character strings that you're never going to use. Like, Katana has like 4 strings. Right, her 2-1, like her kick string, like her standing 3, 4-3-4. Like, they just give character strings that you're never going to use, and I'm just like, what are the point of these strings?
Term only has 1. This is 2-1-2. If you ever see me do 2-1-2 with Term, it's an input error. I swear to God.
Yeah, no, yeah, and that's the thing. You got a lot of strings that you're like, there's no reason for me to use this. Like, RoboCop,
speaking of input
for
errors
instance,
on Term,
RoboCop, I rarely ever use some of his, like, his 2-2 string. Like, I never use that. He has kind of like the same kind of, and to go back to what like Slink was saying, how like people kind of got like put together. RoboCop and Terminator are so similar in their strings, the way they run. He has the same exact 1-2-1. He has the knee, so like I feel like RoboCop was kind of like the leftovers of Terminator, or vice versa. You know, they both kind of share similar strings. So when it comes to that, I feel like it leaves the game wanting a little more.
They're both ass. I agree.
I mean, that I guess if you want to say that, that's definitely up to you. But I mean, RoboCop is definitely low tier.
It's my job to downplay Terminator.
I know. It's all right, Stryker. I mean,
it's all right. He's
like
ass.
Rietzche, you feel like, I mean, you've done really well in the Nightmare series. You've gotten still really high, and I know you're the evil villain when it comes to that. But you also play on a different kind of, you play a different kind of way. You try and mess with people's minds, like when it comes to your trolling. So I know you're not a mean guy or anything like that, but when you're playing with people's minds and actually trying to tilt them, does it ever work, or like do you ever feel
It
like
definitely works. I've had Blackout tell me before that
You should have
he's actually
seen
gotten pissed off.
their set after Koizi. He
Oh my god, yo, don't bring up that creature. Like, what?
Yo,
I'm not gonna speak on that.
I just want to point out, I have no beef with Rietzche. We just shit talk each other. But when he starts like bagging and people get mad, it has me dying,
It
bro.
works.
I'm like, it's
Dude, it has me dying too
hilarious, bro.
sometimes.
about Rietzche. I never really interacted with Rietzche. Like we never interact, so I can't say anything much about that.
I don't think I've ever
think we've
played
ever
a set with
played.
Rietzche without
Have we even
bagging.
played before? I don't think me and Rietzche have ever played.
Uh-oh, money
He's
match.
trash.
Yeah, I
We
think
might.
it's like one, but that's
I
it.
think maybe we played like in Combat League, and that was it. Like when the game first came out. But I don't have many interactions with him, so. A Stryker I've known for a long time. This nigga is annoying. Like
What?
he.
You got him go high pitch. Oh my gosh.
And he sucks at Minecraft, but we ain't gonna go there.
So
You
I
don't
want
want to
to
run a set on Minecraft, bro. Let's keep it MK related.
move the discussion on to like I want to actually move it back to the customs. So when we all watched the combat cast and we saw, 16-bit talk about how custom variations were going to be in, I feel like a lot, or I feel like a good majority of the cast will not benefit from the customs. Like, I feel like a lot of the cast already have some of their best custom, or their tournament variations already their best variations that they have. How do you guys feel about like the new customs coming in, and do you think it's going to create that big of an impact?
I feel like, well, for my characters personally, I feel like Sindel doesn't really benefit that much, but Katana and Scarlet I feel like do benefit a lot, because when it comes to Sindel, she literally only has like 2 moves that's not in her base variation. When it comes to like Scarlet and Katana, they have like 6 or 7 that I can play around with,
Yeah, so I know like Katana fans are happy about the upward fan toss, right? Because that gives her like basically her combo queen back.
Yeah, she has a lot of.
I actually don't use that one.
I haven't like labbed it, but I've seen some like Twitter videos where they have a lot of cool combo potential in the corner with that move. But
So,
She actually has this.
yeah, going to you, Stryker. I saw you were saying like, at first you were saying Terminator wasn't really going to benefit much from customs, but I've seen like maybe like a couple times on Twitter that you've been saying like it's still a good thing that customs are going on. Do you think Terminator's going to benefit from this, or do you think he's going to stay the same?
So I think customs is better for the game, but I don't think customs benefit Term as much as people think it does. Like, he gets a teleport, which is nice. I think the teleport is good in like a few matchups, like Cetrion, for example. But 9 out of 10 times, Dark Fate is literally his best possible loadout. It really is. The air grab has way more than utility than people think it does. It's insane. Like, you get way more damage on all your B&Bs. You get a restand. It's actually everything. It's literally the glue that holds Terminator together. So to sacrifice that for a teleport, like, it's not worth it in my opinion. Like, you get in to be not that scary. It's the way I see it. Like, you just lose your whole snowball effect.
Yeah, honestly, I have a feeling that they might want to change the amount of slots certain abilities take, because like Raiden, for instance, his teleport is 2 slots. Like, you really can't get that much out of Raiden, for instance.
I think he's another example where I still think Thunder Wave is going to be a very popular choice still, even
right.
after with customs.
Yeah, like where the customs don't really let you customize your character. I was just playing last night and I was checking out Nightwolf, and he has the Ascended Light ability. I forget if that's actually what it's called. it tracks, but it's a 2 slaughter, and it's super punishable if it's blocked. I mean, like, full screen Sub-Zero can slide punish it, but like, I don't know. I feel like a good majority of the characters will fall into that kind of category. And I mean, going even to Rietzche, like Johnny, you can mix some of the things up, but you really can't get that much out of it. Like one entire variation, like one of his variation abilities, which is like stunt double, which I loved in MKX, is kind of useless. It's kind of trash. Like Rigi, are you ever even gonna use that variation? Are you ever gonna try it out?
Uh, I think he does have good custom moves, but yeah, like you said, the stun double moves are just not very good, like at all. They're just not that useful. More so often than not, you're just gonna get hurt by just using them.
And but like, what customs are you looking forward to using when it comes to Johnny?
Definitely his pissed off ender because that's a really good damage, and it gives you Oki. His dragon punch for sure, and his throwing shades. I think that's his most optimal build. I don't think that his low force balls are really needed unless in specific matchups. So I think, his loadout has already been found.
Interesting. Well,
yeah, I would agree. I think some people might swap out like Rising Star or one thing for the Arc Force ball if it's more zoning, maybe. But
yeah,
I think that's a little more specific. But generally, yeah, I agree.
I mean, if we're keeping up with like things that we're gonna be seeing into the game and like things that we're looking forward to, are there any things that you guys wish you could see come into the game? I mean, things that they've mentioned in the past or in the patch that are coming are what there's going to be a little bit of invulnerability when you do your short hops, like against low pokes. Like
that change alone makes Terminator's short hop crushing blow viable, like by a lot. Like one of the things I do a lot with Terminator is I will abuse his back 3 string in the corner. That's his 10 frame mid, the knee, and it has a lot of pushback on block. So what I'll try to do is I'll try to like stand one after it to catch people running up, and then that conditions people to either like do a dash up poke or something, to go into the high. So I'm like, okay, he's gonna do that, so I'll try to short hop, and then I'll make the read, but I'll get anti-aired by the poke. And I'm like, man, that sucks.
Yeah.
So just little concepts like that and that change just make the short hop KB way more scary and way more viable. And Rietzche, if you're down for a mash and ask, get hit by a short hop in the corner, bro, that's 40. I'm just saying. That's 40.
I think that the short hop edition is good where you are immune to pokes, but I think it's gonna maybe create another mind game where when you poke, you then try to short hop to try and catch them. It's just, I don't know. To some people, it might seem kind of scrubby because I know Turney was saying something like that. It's just another way to take your turn back when you already have flawless blocking and the pokes and the special and shit like that.
I mean, yeah. I mean, when it comes to like the poke game, like I feel like there's a lot of people. I mean, I play Kano, so like seeing that I don't have like a real like mind game to really play with other than going my overhead or my 2-4 string, because like I don't know how many times my low grab has been poked or blocked or one of the two punished. It's just I'm looking forward to kind of like being able to mix it up with like jump in short hop or getting low poke, confirming it into a short hop, trying to like beat out their low poke in return. Now that we know that pokes are getting nerfed, which character do you think are gonna get the short end of the stick? Do you guys think there's gonna be like a general type thing where everybody's gonna kind of feel it, or do you think some characters are gonna get hurt more than others?
I think some characters definitely get hurt more than others. I don't know if Rietzche agrees with me here. I think Johnny's gonna get hurt a lot by that. Because one of Johnny's flaws is he doesn't have fast mids. He kind of gets mashed on, so he has to check him with pokes constantly. So I feel like if pokes are getting significantly nerfed in that regard, then maybe Johnny will have a harder time conditioning. He'll lose his turn constantly, and it'll be a bit more annoying for him. But That's just my first thought on it.
I mean, my character's always had shitty pokes, so that don't affect me any more than it do now. To be honest.
I mean, do you agree with that, Rietzche? Do you feel like Johnny's gonna get the short end of the stick when it comes to that change or nerf to pokes?
I can see it, but I don't think it would be as bad because I think what they're mostly trying to like point to is pokes like Aaron Black's, you know, where they're just like -2 and they go like sweep distance and they have pushback on them and they can low profile. Like I think things like that just should not be in the game. Like that's just it's ridiculous.
Do you think that they should have just made pokes a little more negative on block? Do you think that would have remedied the situation a little better, or do you think this short hop is maybe going a little overboard?
I feel like if they did make it more negative, that just creates the mind game of flawless blocks. Because what I like to do is I would like to poke someone, and then if I see that they got hit by the poke, I'll poke them back again, and then I'll flawless block their poke to steal my turn back. So I feel like that would just create more of a mind game with flawless blocks if they did that.
If they made pokes more negative?
Because it would just be easier to flawless block them and take your turn back.
So you think that's a better remedy to it than kind of like making short hops a little stronger? Because, I mean, when I get short hopped on, it seems most of the time people are using it to kind of mix me up. Like, for instance, like Slick Beats doing his like short hop into low. Like he wants you to read that, oh, I'm going for this overhead, but he'll go straight for the low, and that's what it's only used for. I mean, what are you guys' thoughts when it comes to that?
I don't think short hops are really used like you said, like, you know, to beat and crush pokes. It's more used as an offense. I mean,
yeah, I don't think short hops. Like, I mean, I can't really complain about it because I mean it's going to be in the game, and it also helps my character, so I have a bias. But I don't think their intention is to be a defensive tool in any way, really.
The only time short hops are really abused if it's by like Kotal players or Shao Kahn players as of like an offensive action.
Yeah, right. When the game first came out, I thought it was going to be like something to counter. Honestly, I thought it would be more along the lines of like, I know he's going to poke, I'm going to short hop. But most of the time when you do that, you get hit out of the air anyways, unless they do a low. So, and most of the time, if like it is a low, they're using like kind of a long range low, and they're so far away you can't really get a punish off of it. Like for instance, Kano, I usually, if I do get the right read for the short hop, it'll whiff. My short hop will whiff. So I don't know. I feel kind of like up in the air when it comes to like kind of buffing short hops. I feel like the correct action might be to just make pokes a little more negative, so you can't just like mash pokes.
honestly, if they just made pokes more plus on hit, I think that would just mostly fix the issue because the whole thing is like Sub-Zero has a poke that's +9 and he can barely get anything off of it. He gets nothing. Like most of the time, you can just microdug and just poke back. I think that's just the problem.
Yeah,
Yeah, +9 pokes is a joke. I think Kano has a +9.
he is.
Sonya has a +10. Like it's really hard to jail with all that.
And people
It's
like
weird
Rietzche
because
don't
a
have
bunch
that
of the
problem.
DLC characters just have like +13 or 14 pokes. It's so
Yeah,
high.
Nightwolf, he's got amazing hit
14,
advantage on
yeah.
those pokes.
Down 3, that's +14. I mean, Robocop's got some nice poke frames, but like unfortunately his down 3 is -10, so you can literally get punished out of that. It's long range, but it's scary to use.
Scarlet can jail her pokes pretty easily, I think. Her down 3 jails into her 4-4, and her down 1 jails into her standing 1.
So do you think if the characters had more general jails that they could basically play into, do you think that would make the quality of life for Mortal Kombat in general a lot better? Like the fighting style between each player, and you can really tell like whether or not a player knows their character and has really mastered the time to get that down.
Oh yeah, there's some players you see that they play a character that has, those pokes that lack a good advantage. I'll use a player's example named AJ74U who plays Scorpion. Scorpion down one. I don't know the exact frame, but I know it's not tremendous on hit. So, but if you watch somebody like AJ, he'll always jail that poke. I don't know if he's human, if he's robot, but he can always jail that like only like +9 poke with a stand one every single time. You'll definitely get hit.
Yeah, and like getting back to like the pokes and everything like that, the characters that do not have like a solid mid, like they're just kind of screwed in that kind of case, aren't they? Like, I mean, there are characters that have like really good and semi-fast overhead strings or low strings, aka Sub-Zero, but like when it comes to like a solid mid, like they you really, if you can't jail the person, you have to rely on your mid. I mean, so like kind of creates this like diversity with the entire cast and the struggle that each kind of character has to go through. Because I mean, like Scorpion, I feel like Scorpion's one of the characters that really doesn't have to like worry about that too much because he's got his flick kick, and then he can literally. I mean, he has some jails. I usually see like Scorpions use the 1/1, but I mean, out of your guys' characters, and I don't know if you guys are going to be picking up any of the new DLC characters. What do you guys really want to see out of these new DLC characters coming into this next, section of Mortal Kombat's lifespan?
Well, I want to be looking into every character. I'm Rambo the most. I don't know. I don't think that comes as a surprise. But I'm definitely going to be looking into Rambo, and I'm hoping he just has a solid mid to keep, players in check, a decent poke with like just, enough frames to jail easily, not I don't have to stress over it, I'm not getting matched on. And that's really it. I just want a decent mid and a decent poke, and then give me a command grab, and I'll be fine.
I think we did see that Rambo does have a command grab. I think it's like the same
He
crushing
does.
blow as
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, it's the same crushing blow, where it's like catch a roll
Beat a
and
roll.
yeah. So Rambo does look pretty good. I think the only mid we know so far is that like big overhead looking Cleven Fist. I think they said that's a mid and not an overhead.
That's fine with me.
Yeah, so I think that's like the one we know of so far. But Rambo
Like,
does look
so
pretty
far,
good.
he looks promising to what I want. The only thing I don't know yet is just how those pokes are looking. That's all I don't know.
Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see how their jailing potential and how everyone's looking. I'm personally excited to see how Rain is going to be. He looks like he's really good up close, and he doesn't seem to struggle too hard when it comes to people zoning him out. Uh, Obviously, he's not lacking in the combo department, so I think he's going to be pretty good to see. All that matters is just how is he going to deal just straight up neutral. Is he just going to be like only just throwing out moves constantly, or does he have to actually try to take back turns or try to be a presence from people? So I guess we just like Stryker said, we just have to wait and see how these characters are going to turn out on the 17th.
Yeah. But so far, I think every character looks solid. I don't think any of them look bad whatsoever. But then again, I thought RoboCop looked solid, so maybe I shouldn't talk.
I mean, I like RoboCop, but that's just because
I
like the character.
I know you've seen me play Robo. I love Robo too, but there's no denying he's just not in the best place right now.
He's not in the best place, and they definitely need to address it. I'm hoping, my fingers are crossed, that RoboCop gets some sort of buff. But he doesn't need like that crazy of a buff. He just needs, a couple of his moves to hit. Like, for God's sakes, like Johnny can crouch his mid off his 1-2-1. He can literally, and he's crouch blocking. His 1-2-1, the mid section of it, will completely whiff Johnny. And I think that is one of the things that they're going to address is like the hitboxes for some of like the characters that are male and feel female, but I'm hoping that they kind of like set
Yeah.
an overall, hitbox region for all the characters where like even like Kano's spit will now jail on everybody. I feel like that's a quality of life change that like even for Kano players that they've been looking for, so they don't have to like keep this spreadsheet of who the spit will whiff on and who it'll jail on.
Going back, I remember we were talking about short hops a while ago, and I don't think this ever got brought up. But going back to that, do you think there's certain characters that may suffer now that short hops are going to be able to be like immune to either pokes or lows? Do you think certain characters may not be able to be so safe with certain moves now that like people would be able to possibly short hop over them and punish them?
You mean
is that
like
one? Go ahead, I can
after
talk about it.
strings?
Yeah, like after strings or say like Cabal's like double low buzzsaw, do you think certain characters would be able to get punished for doing those things now with short hops getting a buff from it?
I mean, when it comes to like Cabal's double low buzzsaw, you can already jump out of it and punish him. So I
It's
Do
like,
we
do you think,
know?
yeah, with
Are short
other,
hops
with
immune?
other characters, they did
I
say
know
they were
they're immune to crouching
pokes.
attacks. Are they immune to lows as well? I don't
Yeah,
think
see,
they're
that's the
immune to
thing.
lows.
It was kind of left
That's the thing.
ambiguous because we're not entirely sure. Until the patch comes out,
So
we're not entirely
for
sure.
now, I'm just gonna assume that it's just pokes. But
So,
if you're
well, then the
thinking
question would
characters that
go
it would
to,
be super useful against pokes, like characters that rely on their pokes a lot, that kind of goes back to what I said about Johnny. I think Johnny relies on his pokes a lot. Sonya, I think will hurt. It's another good one.
probably
Jade,
like Aaron Black.
Aaron's a good one. I mean, Aaron doesn't really rely on his pokes. I don't feel like that much. I think they just abuse it because they're stupid and the pokes are stupid.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, moving on to this like next patch. Are you guys excited about any sort of things that you heard from the last Combat Cast that NRS put out? Like, I mean,
Yes.
me personally, I'm looking forward to the wake up system getting changed. Just the delayed wake up.
Me too, for
That's
sure. I'll be the first person to tell you my meaties are terrible. I suck at meeting in this game. So I'm glad they're holding my hand through that because I just got to learn the new timing and I'll be fine. But as of right now, nothing hurts more than chasing down a Cetrion and then getting hit with wake up buttons because you suck at meaties. And I said,
yeah.
GG, man, have me sweating.
I'm so glad they're getting rid of delayed wake up because short delay and long delay wake up is dumb. It's dumb that you have to guess whether if someone is going to delay wake up or roll or up 3 or up 2 or wake up buttons, and the delay just makes it even worse. So when they get rid of that and they added the animation to the delay wake up, which already should have been there, it's going to make it a lot simpler to meet people.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Rietzche,
So
do you have
adding
anything
to
to add
that,
on that?
yeah, so I got to say for another question that relates to this, with the core mechanics of wake ups, with the with the delayed wake up getting changed, with the timer of getting up being shortened, is there a certain like aspect of defensive meter or using of offensive meter that you would like to see like tweaked, either being nerfed or buffed in a certain way, like with break, or let's go breakaway for instance. What with breakaway would you think would be a fair change to it without changing it up too much?
Changing the button for it,
Exactly.
to be honest.
Just
Man.
make the button different.
Mistake.
That's
I mean,
and
there's still one aspect of it that's kind of annoying, but they've already added a layer that makes that less frustrating. It's just getting punished for hitting them, but there's kind of ways around that now. There's safer routes to take in B&Bs. There's armor breaks. There's some
But
ways to make them not want to do it, but it still can be a little annoying in
the
some.
thing about armor breaks, though, it all depends on your character because some characters
That's
like
true. Some
Sonya have very
horrible.
bad wake ups. Like Katana, hers isn't. Some characters like their armor breaks aren't in every variation. It's only specific to one variation, or it's just like bad throughout the whole universal variations. Like it just really depends.
Sonya's is definitely horrible.
So would you say like they should add more moves to be as armor breakers, or do you think that every character should have whatever variation they're using. They should have their armor breaker with them at all times.
I think they should have their armor breaker with them at all times. I think it's a little bit unfair that Shao Kahn gets like, I know he's bad, but he gets like 3 armor breaks in one variation. While some characters are sitting over here and get like none. But
Yeah,
you know,
I agree. I mean, I don't understand. I mean, luckily for my character Kano, I mean, like I get the benefit of
He's
having
got
that armor breaker back 1 on any variation I pick because it's just 1 normal. But a lot of these characters don't have that, and I feel like that's something that NRS should have done. Like they should have had every character have a universal kind of armor breaker that isn't related to a certain variation that you're playing. It's just 1 move in the string, whether it be like Noob Saibot's armor breaker. He has that regardless.
that back to
Kano. Yeah, like I mean, do you guys want everybody to have that kind of same thing, or you guys like having it kind of mixed up the way it is?
I mean, when they first came out, it made sense because they gravitated a lot of the armor breaks to the uncommon variations, like Spellmaster Shang, for example. And in my instance, Terminator, Dark Fate didn't get an armor break, which was fine with me and made complete sense because everybody plays Dark Fate. Maybe give you a reason to pick a different one, so that made perfect sense to me. So I don't think you like really need an armor break. I mean, they're obviously nice to have, and some characters have better ones than others, like Kodal or Cabal have really, really good ones. But I don't think they're a complete necessity, to be honest, to the point where they need to add more.
Adding on to Stryker, yeah, I agree with him. I don't think it's necessary for every character. I would say that every character should have still like a good armor breaker. Like Sonya's forward 4E is absolutely awful. It does less damage than even her uppercut. So I think people like that have bad armor breakers like that in that regard should have a better one. But characters like Spawn, in Variation 2, he loses his armor breaker, but he still makes up for it with the insane amounts of damage that he does anyways when you don't have meter. So certain characters are fine how they are without it, but some characters that already have really bad ones, I feel like they should at least get buffed or changed in some regard.
Now, I feel like with these customs, you should be able to have a solid armor break if you want to. Like in my case, if I wanted an armor break with Term, I just wouldn't use the Dark Fate commander. Then I have a solid armor break, right? But I feel like for Sonya players, for example, like we mentioned, how her armor break is just putrid. I feel like she could get a new one of like her back forward 2 ender or something, but forward 3 is just a joke. It is awful.
Yeah.
I think every coach should have at least one useful one if they want it with their customs.
So, yeah. Going along with the characters, not going away from armor breakers, but just characters in general, what would you say would be like good changes to people? Would it be like buffing certain strings to make them more viable in terms of either making it safer on block, more hit advantage, more damage potentially? Or do you think they should nerf the moves that are already being used over and over again to force people to use other strings?
Well, personally, I don't think, I think some things could use buffs. Like, there are definitely certain things that are completely useless, and there's definitely some special moves, especially with these customs, that you will never, ever see again. Like Sub-Zero's Cold Shoulder, that shit's gone, bro. Nobody's using that over Slide. V3 Lao Spin, like, I think those moves, for example, could definitely be changed somehow and maybe buffed, or maybe make the other version significantly worse somehow, just to make, picking the alternate one, actually reasonable. But as it stands right now, there's definitely, a lot of people are playing customs right now to get ready, and you don't see one Sub-Zero with Cold Shoulder. You don't see one Kung Lao with Vortex, and you don't see one Kodal with Far Sun Ray. I think most of them prefer the close one. So we'll see. I personally want them to tone those, not tone them down, but change them in some way. But I don't think they will, to be honest.
Rietzche, do you have anything to add to your character specifically? Like, I know his armor break is his flip kick for Johnny, but I mean, most of the time you use that as an ender, and I feel like you really don't get much out of it. Like, I feel like for a character like Johnny, he would benefit if he had like an armor breaker that was just like a normal.
I don't think the armor breakers would necessarily be needed if at the end of a breakaway you just automatically were forced to do the medium delay where get up, so you don't get punished and you actually have Oki, right? I think that, for me personally, I think that would be a better solution than having armor breaks. If they want to break away, then that's fine, but at least make it so you do get something afterwards instead of just resetting neutral because you're both in a position where none of you have advantage.
Okay, so instead of being able to have the ability to break their armor if they're trying to get out of your combo, instead force them into a meaty situation where they have to guess what you're going to do with them.
Yeah.
That sounds a lot more. Yeah, that sounds pretty fair. Honestly, I can agree with that.
I mean, now since the game has been out for it's been out for over than a year and a half. How do you guys feel about the breakaway system? Do you guys are still okay with the breakaway system, or would you rather have like the old breaker, like MKX breaker, where it resets back to neutral? How do you guys feel on that?
Me personally, I would rather have the MKX breaker just because I feel like it makes more sense. Now, if something were to happen and it did go the way Rietzche just said, where you still get rewarded for actually hitting them, like you get your Oki and all that, and they didn't just punish you for hitting them, I think that would actually be better. Like, I would prefer that over breakers, but if that wasn't going to be the case, then I would definitely prefer breakers over what they have right now.
For me, I feel like it would almost be like a counter combo breaker, Like, they're going to want a breaker right now, so that's where you do your breaker to break their breaker, I guess. I don't want to keep repeating the word breaker, but like they go for their breaker, you armor break that, and there you go. You literally countered their breaker and they lost their meter. So it's like a double win for you. I mean, Slink, do you agree? Do you want it to go back to the MKX breaker, or do you think that would be a little too broken?
I feel like that would be too broken in this game because we're in the MKX era. You had the run, so it made it easier to get in, as in this game you don't. So I feel like if you were to be sent full screen all over again, say against like Cetrion and you're playing Terminator, that would just be like a little bit too unfair, especially since there's no universal mechanic of getting in this game.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I feel like if we had the old breaker, it'd be more beneficial to characters with the longer reaching normals, or if you were able to easily zone like Cetrion, Scarlet, all those characters, they would benefit way more than any characters like Terminator or possibly how Rain is going to be. All those close range characters are going to suffer greatly just from this new mechanic because they don't have a choice of being able to get in easily once they get launched back to full screen.
Yeah, like also in Injustice, like the clash system, it would send you full screen, but you had a way of getting in. If you wanted to roll, you could roll full screen and get right back in, but in this game, you don't really have that option, so.
Are there any like quality of life changes that NRS hasn't really told to the community or completely like ignored that you guys wish you could see, other than like changing the input for armor breaking or breakaway?
It's not what I can think of off the top of my head. As far as I know, everything but that is really getting touched in some way,
which is nice.
Yeah,
but
I agree with that.
It's also possible that maybe they don't touch it enough, or it's not enough. But we'll have to see. I know I said that like 15 times. We'll have to see, but that's kind of what we're waiting for. Is just based on seeing how that's gonna go.
Yeah, we're in the state right now where we can't guarantee things are going to get better or worse. We're kind of left in the dark still somewhat. Going with that still, do you think NRS should have more like communication with us in the future about like seeing what we think about how the state of the game is going and we constantly give feedback to them, and they give us like a back and forth conversation of how we should be fixing the game, how we should be nerfing or buffing characters in the future?
My thing is they definitely, we all give people like Tyler a hard time, but I know they definitely read our comments even if they don't reply to them. But I definitely don't think they should reply to like most people because most people are just bitching, and I do it myself. I can't. I'm a hypocrite. But a lot of people will just complain on Twitter about this character's broke, this character's dumb, 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 trash. But like it's just if they took like acknowledged every single comment or like at least most of them, it would just be hell on earth. It would be horrible.
So do you think there would be like certain people that they would reach out to, or how other companies they like bring them in for like invitationals and stuff and use those as good ways to determine how the game is going? And do you think they should have like more community events to like figure out how the game is going?
I think that'd be awesome. I think that'd be maybe I personally think that'd be awesome. Maybe that's something that I think they could try sometime. Maybe it'd go well, maybe it wouldn't, but I think it's definitely worth a shot for sure.
Yeah, I think
I think
the
the
combat
it's a
cast is
double-edged
good.
sword, really.
Yeah.
I really don't think the community knows what they want in terms of not necessarily
That's
they
what
don't know
I'm
what they
saying.
want, but
They
it's just
don't know what they want.
yeah.
That's why I think if they listen to every comment, it'd be a shit show.
Yeah, I think honestly, I think NRS could definitely do like a combat cast almost every week. I know that might be asking too much, I guess. I'm not entirely sure, but like just don't use Tyler and Derek. Just have it be one person and have that person just like hear out what changes they want, because I feel like even though they do focus on the Twitter feed, or they say they do at least, we still have like a lot of things that aren't addressed, like for instance a Wi-Fi filter, the breakaway input. They still haven't got around to that, and like I'm sure people have been asking for that, and it still hasn't gotten addressed. That they are addressing some of the things that have been annoying us, kind of like what to do about like mashers that just poke down one, and just overall like quality of life changes to hitboxes and all that kind of stuff. But things that we've been just like outcrying for, I'm not including Melina because obviously that got heard, but a Wi-Fi filter I feel like would be a really nice quality of change for almost everybody that plays online and gives a shit about like the online at all. Like I care about KL. I know there's a lot of people that like. I want to know your guys' sense in this. Is like I get a lot of fun playing KL. I know there's a lot of people that don't get a lot of fun playing KL, and that's where they get this sense of mentality saying that like the game is kind of dead or it's dying. What do you guys want to see in terms of that? Because like the crypt is done. It's boring.
No, well, they did say when September 7th or November 17th comes out, they are going to be adding a couple new crypt events. So they are just
but
leaving
crypt
it out to
events
die.
are
They did
what,
decide
dude?
what's
Just
coming
going
back.
around opening a Chronica orb, like.
Well,
And just to leave right after.
Yeah.
well, they didn't like. They said it was going to be like big crypt events. So I'm assuming possibly maybe new areas being added or like new forms of loot or something. Because it doesn't sound like they're completely done with crypt at all. I feel like they still have some big ideas coming with it, and they're just now like letting us in on it.
I feel like they've been done with the crypt. Like, I mean, I haven't gone into the crypt in forever. And hell, every time I go into the crypt, I just get like if I go into the crypt, I look for the Chronicle orb, and whenever I open the orb, I just get 100,000 gold, which I'm never gonna use because I'm already sitting on 10 million, over
And
10
you just
million.
leave.
Like, it's just there's. I personally feel like, and I don't know if you guys agree, I feel like there's a lot of aspects of the game that are being left behind. KL is fun, but the only enjoyment that I get out of it is trying to fight for like these new cool skins that are coming out for a lot of the characters that I don't even play. The Towers of Time, as fun as it used to be, the whole point that they had the AI system put in, I feel like, was to alleviate the player of actually sitting there and quote unquote wasting their time just running those towers. I mean, do you guys agree, or what would you guys rather see in when it comes to like game changes, not necessarily in gameplay, but like the game in general? Like, I mean, would tag team help out a lot more? What would make the game a lot more lively and like make it refreshing to you as a player?
I would like a new game mode because I feel like Combat League gets boring, and only so many people play casuals. I feel like AI fights was a waste of a game mode. I don't even know why they implemented that into the game at all. I feel like it was just a waste of production and stuff. So I feel like if they added a new game, if they just got rid of AI fights altogether and just added a new game mode like tag team or something, then that would make the game a lot better.
I think I remember in MKX they had I agree with tag team, that should be good, but I think they had a thing in MKX where it was like a sort of crew battle type of deal. Where I think it's like you can do like 3v3s or 5v5s where it's just you beat one person, move on to the next until someone wins. I feel like that would be a nice addition to add into the game.
Yeah, those are fun. I think tag alone would bring back the hype of this game. They've already produced like I want to say the frame to make it, like it's in towers, like it's kind of there, like they have something to work on and expand on, like they have their starting point. But it's just if they want to go through with it, and one of the things is if they do make tag, they have to have a Wi-Fi filter on it. There's no way that you could have 4 people connected to each other and let one of them be on Wi-Fi. It's just not going to happen. So that in my opinion would be like mandatory Wi-Fi filter.
I'm gonna add in a question adding on towards tag team. If they did add it, do you think the meter system that they have right now would still be perfectly fine with how it's going, or do you think they would have to change how the offensive and defensive meter works when they're swapping people out, either mid combos or just regularly in neutral?
I feel like the meter system should stay the same. I think if I'm paired with some moron that spends all my meter and then tags me in, well, then that's just a bummer, right?
Yeah.
I think that's part of the aspect of the synergy. You got to work together and use your meter wisely, not have Cetrion do meter burn Rockwell twice and then tag in her teammate for her to do this move meter burn. Like, nah, we're not gonna do that.
So do you guys just generally agree that like towers are basically kind of dead? Like nobody here plays towers, right?
I don't know. I hate towers.
Towers.
I'm so bored.
Yeah, towers was like a fun gimmick at the start of the game, but it's kind of just gotten stale, and they haven't really done much with it except just make crazier and crazier modifications in towers. Other than that, I don't think there's much of a use for it anymore.
Towers suck, but it's not as bad and as horrible as the multiverse was in Injustice 2. So I can say it's an upgrade from that.
I can agree.
Well,
with
at least for Injustice,
Yeah.
I could hunt for some cool cosmetics and stuff. I mean, like, granted, I agree with what you say, Sling, but when it comes to cosmetics versus Mortal Kombat 11 and Injustice 2, I think Injustice 2 blows Mortal Kombat 11 out of the water.
I'm actually glad that you mentioned that because I think that as well. Where in Injustice 2, you can adjust the whole wardrobe that a character has. While in this game, it's only certain things that you can adjust, and some things like you can't even see, like Katana Sai. You can't see that, so why, are you sort of able to change that?
She only uses it in one move, so other than that, you'll never see it again.
What, Scarlet's like blood bombs or whatever is one of her cosmetics? I feel like they just made some really bad choices when it came to cosmetics, because like that was one of the things I was really looking forward to when it came to Mortal Kombat 11, and they introduced, oh hey, we're adding cosmetics so you can make your character your own. I thought I was gonna be like I thought it was gonna be like Injustice 2, where like I can change Kano's eyepiece, I can change Kano's chest plate, I can change his pants, I can change his shirt, what have you. And I thought they were gonna have like set pieces. Like that was one of the things that really got me in like Injustice, and doing like the towers in the multiverse in Injustice 2 was hunting for cool pieces. Like I got 3 legendaries when it came to Injustice 2. And that was a hefty grind, but like I wanted them because I thought they looked really cool, and they really don't have a lot of options when it comes to Mortal Kombat 11. It's just the skins are usually a lot of colors, and there's no real diversity. Like, I mean, I don't know. I feel like they kind of
Yeah.
fell off when they did that.
I 100% agree. And going back to what you said about the AIs and like having them play for you to not waste your time, this is just something super minor, but I do feel like you should at least allow the AI to go through the tower without having to press A every 2-3 minutes.
You gotta sit
Like
there.
there's a reason I set you to do this.
Yeah. I mean, unless you have one of those turbo controllers and you can set it to press A all the time for you, like you're kind of stuck
but
there still.
that's what I'm saying. It's like whenever I have a tower to do, I just set my AI Baraka to do it to just one shot everybody, and I just press A every 2 to 3 minutes and look at my phone. That's all. That's it.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Yeah, Junk, I know you talked about Combat League earlier, and we didn't really get into a discussion about it. So my question would be, what do you think would be like a better, like when it goes through the ranking systems, do you think if you hit a certain rank at some point, it should stop you at a certain point so everyone doesn't start at the beginning? So some people will just blow through right off the bat, and some people will just get stuck at the bottom. Do you think it should be like a skill ranking system where it should put you after every season so you don't just get easy wins at the start, or you're always stuck somewhere? And do you think this should change up the rewards every rank?
I definitely think that rank should not be reset because, like you said, you pairing the higher level pool of players with the lower level pool of players, and then it's all jumbled up, and then you got to wait till like half the season's over till it's finally divided as it should be, and then at that point, the lower level players don't even have that time to get to the demigod skin if they want. Like it's just, I think definitely they could change it up and maybe make like add more ranks, but make them more like permanent. But I don't know.
What do you think,
To be
Slink?
honest.
I mean, do you think the KL is kind of just like I already know you were saying that you kind of get bored with it, but I mean, what are the things that really bore you about KL? Is because the skins aren't worth your time, or are you just not getting the correct competition that you're searching for?
Is Slink still here?
I don't know. Slink,
I am.
Who's Slink? Oh, there he is.
Slink fell asleep.
I think Rietzche fell asleep. We haven't heard from him in a while.
No, I'm still here.
Oh, okay.
Did you hear my
There was a
question,
few
Slink?
times you guys asked something and there was a silence. I was like, well, I guess I'll step in again.
My bad.
But yeah,
I'm not trying to take over.
yeah. So
I mean,
the question
honestly, I think
to either-
Combat League is like so close to being a premier game mode. It's just that, like you said, the Wi-Fi filter, and maybe if like the top 48 overall, like in the world, got put in some sort of like a tournament. You know what I mean? Like in a big old bracket. Just like I think that would be hype to watch. I think it would be obviously easy to see who the shitters are. Like pull plugs and just not have them in. I don't know. I think that'd be kind of cool. Just to have that like every month or something.
Yeah, that'd be a cool concept. I never thought of that.
So like if you say like
I would
if
actually
you
play
hit
it.
demigod at the end of the KL season, they take like all the demigod to elder god players, throw them in a tournament, then you get like mega rewards at the end to see who wins.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
What I
That might be
really,
more for me.
what the thing about that is a lot of those people are on Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I
mean,
think it should be like restricted and like first to three and all that, just like a regular tournament.
Yeah, but what I really like that they're doing is that they're bringing back. You'll be able to get past Combat League skins. So if you weren't here for like such and such season, then you'll be able to get them. But it also sort of does kill the point of grinding for those seasons. So I could see why some players would be upset.
right, and I am
Yeah.
one of those players that's kind of upset because it's like, I
mean, I'm sorry, I cut you off. Go
no,
ahead.
no, you're good. I mean, I have been here for most of the seasons. I have all those skins. So when it comes to these like new KL seasons, there's nothing for me because what am I just grinding to God and going through that sweat hassle for nothing? Yeah, it's not going to be really rewarding for me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the same boat. I have every KO skin up to this point, just because I'm a collector and I like to have everything. And I mean, once season 1 comes back around, I already have every skin in season 1. So what do I care to even play this? Like, I have nothing to grind for anymore.
I will say though, this benefits me because I was always like bad player before. Just last season, never hit demigod, so it's great for me that I didn't get the skins beforehand. So it's like it's always good for me, but I can understand for the people that have consistently hit demi, elder, just regular god every season. I can understand why. What's the point of this grind if I already went through, got all these things, and now I have to go through it again? So maybe
It's
like if
definitely...
they come out with, what if they came out with like different skins as well along with these seasons, so you can get the old skins as well, but there's these new skins that come out every season that you can also win to get.
I think that'd be great. Like, maybe they would use the same theme, like season 1, the blood season where it was like black and red. Maybe they'd have the old skins come back, like the Aaron skin, but maybe they'd throw in like 1 or 2 skins for new characters with the same theme, like maybe like a black and red Sub-Zero or something, to actually make you continue to play it. But I don't think they're gonna do that, to be honest.
And what also comes to like the KO skins, do you think certain characters get favored over others when it comes to the skins? 'Cause I know I went through the KO skins the other day, and we had Jade with the most KO skins at 4, and we had Sonya at the least with 1, who actually got beat out by Shao Kahn, who got 2 over her.
Yeah, and I hate Sonya's, just the Revenant one.
Yeah.
It looks awful, personally. But, what was I gonna say? There's definitely some characters that get favored. I've noticed some characters get skins consecutively in a row, like Junk. I hate to swing at you, but Kano, that man got like hella skins. Like, I remember when Shang, excuse me, not when Shang, when Nightwolf came out, a skin pack, the classic skin pack came out of him in his classic outfit, but he still had the facial hair, so he got a skin then. Then he got a KL season with the Quan Chi skin. Then he got another skin when Terminator came out, and he got his Cyborg skin. And then his pirate skin went in the store. Like, why is this? Why do they keep doing this? They give one character skins consecutively. Don't even get me started. Don't even get me started on Katana. That chick is
Katana, hold up. Katana don't hardly get anything. First, y'all were complaining that she didn't get enough, that she got too many buffs. Hold up. Y'all were complaining that we got too many buffs, and then we stopped getting buffs, and we started getting skins. Like, y'all are upset no matter what.
Bro,
pick a side.
My character doesn't even have the skin in the trailer he was revealed for.
My Sindel hasn't gotten a new skin in over a year.
Well,
okay,
none of the
You're
DLC
about to get a KL season. I haven't gotten anything.
After a year of us complaining.
Okay, so that is something
been out longer than your character.
That is something that you guys definitely want.
Your character is just a stupid robot that just goes around over and over again.
Yo, this is about to turn into a roast fest. Hold on.
Let's get some order in here for a second.
So maybe that's something that NRS should have done. Maybe NRS, instead of like just redoing the KL seasons that we missed, offered some DLC skins. Like, there's no DLC skins, none.
Yeah,
well, Shang gets DLC skins, and so does Shao Kahn.
He got one for Aftermath. That's it. I don't remember any. Yeah, I mean,
are you talking about skins for the DLC characters or just DLC skin packs in general? Because we did have that one that came with the the Jason themed skin for Cabal, the weird ass Liu Kang one, and then the Witch Jade skin.
Yeah, but
They
those
were
aren't
all
the
like
DLC
separate DLC
characters.
ones.
I'm talking
Yeah,
about
that's what I was
skins.
asking.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
just
no, I'm
DLC
talking
characters
about
in
the
general.
skins for some of these DLC characters because like there's nothing for
Yo,
those
hook my
guys.
boy up Spawn with some new skins, please.
Like
I need to look fly while I 3-4 people.
I definitely feel like NRS is sleeping on that because yeah, Shang Tsung got another one skin
He got
for
he got 2
Aftermath.
skins from Aftermath.
Okay,
Yeah.
2 skins for Aftermath, but still, that's like leaving the whole rest of the DLC with nothing. And I mean, going back to what we were saying previous, we're already like in a slump because we only have 3 cosmetics to work with. So basically, we don't really get to change our character as much as NRS said that we were going to. Like Sindel, doesn't get that much love. RoboCop doesn't get that much love. I mean, actually, I like RoboCop's cosmetics, but still, it's only 3 pieces. So when it comes to these skins, they're really important to be able to like diversify your character. Yes, I was one of the lucky ones being a Kano person. I have a lot of skins that I can choose from because I got the pirate, I got the cyborg, I have all the base skins before even though a lot of the base skins are kind of crappy. But Kano was one of the fortunate ones that did get a lot of love. And Slink is over here, not having. I mean, Sonya mains, I can't imagine how pissed they are.
Oh god. Yeah, they got that one DLC skin from I think it was Terminator, and it's basically just another generic Sonya skin where it's not outstanding at all.
They got their MK3 skin. They got that. They got the Revenant skin, and I think that might be it. No,
Yeah,
they got
that's-
another
that's-
skin too. They got something else too. I don't know what it's called.
Yeah, they got the Terminator, the Sarah Connor, I think it was. They got that.
It was like some military skin or something.
Yeah, it was a Sarah Connor skin. It looks like absolute ass.
So, looking to the future of Mortal Kombat, I mean, I can understand why people might be falling off onto the game, but I want to see some more changes. I want to have a bigger community when it comes to NRS. I want to know from your guys' perspective, what's the biggest thing that you could possibly see to add more life to the game? I know we already kind of discussed this a little bit, but to bring an example for you guys, I was thinking on top of KL, they make some sort of like tag team KL. I feel like that would be amazing. Like to actually have a rank system for a tag team.
I was thinking we went with the idea of KO after a certain point getting like a tournament of the best players. I was thinking maybe instead of that you have just a tournament mode where it's like once a week you have a tournament that you can enter into to earn like certain skins or things that are exclusive to the tournament mode, and depending on how good you do at the tournament you get a certain skin. It could either be a skin that is exclusive to the tournament, or if you have a skin or a piece of gear that you don't have unlocked for your character, you would unlock that instead. So that way you're always getting something out of the tournament no matter how good or bad you do in it.
That's not a bad idea. But if you're asking what I think would bring the most light, I do think a KO tag is probably what would bring the most light to the game. I agree with you on that 100%. Like you pick a teammate at the start of a season, you run through that season with that teammate, and then you could swap teammates or pick the same one again. But I think that'd be really cool and really interesting to see. But like I said, if they do a tag thing, they have to have a Wi-Fi filter. There's no exception.
Yeah.
I don't think that would really be needed because I don't know. I think the more tournaments we have, I think the more popular the community would get, Like, we already have Slayer doing the 2v2s and everything. That's just hugely successful. It brings in a ton of viewers, It's a lot of fun. I think the more events like that we have, I think the more players will be likely to, get better and provide more entertainment. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but if
So
we
you're saying,
also
like-
didn't have those people bringing these kind of events like to light through their own, use, like it's just not really helping the game out itself. Like I feel like
Well, I think I agree with you there, where it doesn't seem like it's bringing too much light on the game itself. But I think what Rietche's trying to say, like NRS using their game platform to host tournaments of their own to bring players of all skill levels for different like ways in to bring life into the game itself by promoting their own stuff.
I don't think honestly, I don't think by adding a 2v2 KL would even hurt that kind of scene at all. Like I feel like
Oh,
Slayer
it would
would just
not
be
hurt
fine.
at all, no.
Like that's just
But
something I want to see myself out of this game. Moving forward, I want to have more fun with this game, and like I want it to continue on because like the way that Mortal Kombat is going right now, as soon as Injustice 3 comes out, you're gonna see that whole shift again that you saw with MKX to Injustice 2, and I know that's the way that NRS is, but there's going to be some loyalists that don't like Injustice at all and want to stick with the game, and progressively the game is just going to slowly get more and more dead. Like I want something to bring more life to the game, something that like even though Injustice 3 is out, I still have a reason to play Mortal Kombat 11 and still be good at it, as opposed to just like the pro players that are just sticking with the game for the prize money. I mean, do you guys agree? I mean, Slink is and Rietzche, like as soon as this, like I don't know if you guys play Injustice at all, if you guys are into that series at all, but as soon as Injustice 3 comes out, are you guys still gonna play Mortal Kombat 11?
To be honest, I grew up on Injustice. I've always been more of an Injustice fanatic than MK. So like I've always grinded and labbed Injustice a lot more than MK. And when like CGL was hosting their Injustice tournaments, you know, I played like Injustice those whole 2 weeks and I didn't touch MK at all. So to be honest, if Injustice 3 did come out, I would probably not come back to this game.
And why not? Why wouldn't you come back to Mortal Kombat 11?
I just, just the Injustice meta just suits more of my playstyle. I'm just more interested in the characters. Like Injustice has always had more of a like I've always felt like I connected with the characters more than Mortal Kombat, if you know what I mean.
No, I feel you. I mean, and going to Rietzche, like Rietzche, I don't know if you were an Injustice player at all, but like if Justice 3 comes out, are you gonna stick with Mortal Kombat 11, or are you gonna make the flop?
It honestly depends on how they do it. Like if they just leave MK11 behind, like just completely, then I would really have no choice. I would have to move on to Injustice 3 if I wanted to keep on competing.
Yeah, I mean,
so it basically just depends on if they keep supporting the game or if they just decide like this game's dead, we're moving on to our next project. So it all depends on how the competitive scene or how NRS deals with the swap between games.
To be honest,
I agree. I think it's more so how NRS would handle it. Yeah.
when they get a new game, they do usually do that. They leave the old one behind and don't really look back at it. The only time you'll ever see, some look back at it is if like a third party, holds a tournament for the game, or like once like every blue moon,
Yeah, I understand that.
yeah, I mean, that's the big thing about these NRS games is like you have fighting games like Tekken and Street Fighter 5 that are still like getting huge amounts of hype, and there's like a lot of people just still playing those games, even though it's the same game that it's been. I mean, I'm not including like the patch changes and all that kind of stuff. All they do is add a new character, but it still has all of the life that it had before, and I think that's one of the like the falling characteristics of the NRS platform, how they do their a new game every 4 years or so, is that they always just leave the game behind. And like Mortal Kombat 11 is a really good game. Don't get me wrong. I really love that they did the aftermath. It has one of the best stories. The NRS crushes it when it comes to like fighting game stories. But when it comes to the actual like longevity of the games, always falls short.
I like what Dream Eater said. He says they don't care about the comp play. It's true. NRS loves to cater more to the casuals and, get the money from the casuals and see what they can basically do to reel them in than more about the competitive scene itself. They don't really take our word for it, and if they do ever take our word for it, they really only look at like the pros, like the top 10 NRS pros, and really only take their word for it. They don't look at the community as a whole.
Yeah, they'll listen to Sonic Fox,
yeah.
but they won't listen to a good majority of the people.
Yeah. Going off on that for my next question, what do you think the devs themselves need to do more to like bring back life into not just the casuals, but into the competitive scene itself? What do you think the devs should be focused on with working with us to try to make the game as good as it can be?
I'm actually not sure how to
Tough
answer
question.
They definitely, for the competitive aspect, they definitely need to release. I know this is easier said than done. I'm not a game developer. I know this is not something they can just do easily, but there has to be more patches. They gotta like what they're doing now. They just gotta keep doing it. Like it's that simple. They just stop at some point and then move on to the next thing. It's like, well, if you want to keep the game going, you got to keep doing what you're doing. They just, they eventually just hit a brick wall and they're like, all right, next game. But if they want MK11 to stay alive, this is the longest game they've had alive right now, mainly because they spaced out their DLC. Like, Injustice 2's DLC was over within like 7 months, or like maybe like 9 months. But this game's will be 2 years old in about 5 months, and we're getting more DLC right now. So far they're keeping up that pace well. But if they want it to keep alive, then if this is the game they want to settle on and keep going for years and years, they got to keep going. They don't have a choice.
So, say they do patch the game more. At what point do you think would be too many patches too fast? Because I know League of Legends, they do a patch for the game every 2 weeks, so the meta is always changing in that game.
I think that's too much.
Do you think? Yeah. So would you say like something like League of Legends would be bad for Mortal Kombat if they're constantly changing the game, say like every 2 weeks, or do you think it'd be like every month or two they should be changing the game?
Every like 2 months would be good in my opinion.
I think what they should do is, like Stryker said, every 2 months they should take. They should look around in the community, take a list of like complaints what people has, even if it's like small, and then they should just work on that and see how it goes. You know what I mean? Like a complaint box or something.
So take like a collection of what people say is too good or is not good enough with each character, and look into what's the most urgent problems to fix and what could be saved off for maybe a later patch.
Yeah.
Those are really good points.
So either Rietzche or Stryker, do you guys have anything to add on to that?
Not really. No.
Yeah, I think it was pretty spot on.
So too many patches could be a bad thing, so they need to space it out.
Yeah, I mean, nobody wants their character to get touched within 2 weeks, because I mean, like to get a character fully fleshed out and understood in a fighting game at high level, it takes a lot of time. I mean, some characters longer than others, but nobody wants to play a complicated character and then, try to figure them out. They finally get it down, get a game plan going, and then they're changed in, 3 days. So I think 2 weeks is way too often.
Yeah, it might be too quick. I think 2 months is probably going to be like the best selling point right there. 2 months. If anything.
Yeah, because they get enough. They get to see like every 3 or 4 tournaments. They get to see what character's coming up. Too much, what character's not coming up, not enough, and see how they can make these characters viable so they could be flowed through the scene. So we'd have more variety from players and different play styles from each person to see what works and what doesn't.
So to kind of bring this discussion to like kind of a closing, I wanted to see your guys' point of view on the new DLC characters that are coming out, Rambo, Melina, and Rain. Who are you guys looking forward to? Are you excited for some of the cosmetics that they're going to be getting? And what are some of the things that you guys hope to see from your characters? We'll
Um,
start off with Slink because Slink I can already see wants to chime in.
I mean, the most character I'm excited for is Rain because I've always been a Rain fan. I really like him. I love the way he looks. I love his playstyle. The thing that I thought was pretty strange is that I don't know if he had it, but two of the three DLCs had crushing blow with their grab was, I think is if you didn't jump for 10 seconds.
Right.
If you didn't
Or,
jump or
like,
take damage for 10 seconds, you
I'm
get a
wondering,
crushing blow.
are they gonna add that to other characters that don't have the throw crushing blows at all?
All right,
So you would
Katana
like-
player, let's relax.
Yeah.
Listen, you know how hard that is for Katana? I only jump with her.
Going off that with what Slink said about different throw crushing blows, I would say that's a good idea. Where even if characters already have the your next grab on an escape field is a crushing blow, change up multiple characters where instead of just having that, if they already have an existing crushing blow, just change up so it's a different requirement that's more fitting to the playstyle instead of just sticking to the strike throw. Maybe certain different requirements where after hitting with an overhead, your next throw could possibly be a crushing blow, so you can mix them up to. I guess that still goes with the Stryker throw playstyle, but just different requirements setting up for throws, just to make it more variety and just make the game a lot faster, not faster paced, but more neutral based instead of just running up and just making them guess on the 50-50 throw situation.
Yeah, Rietzche, do you have anything you wanted to add for that as well? Who are you looking forward to in this new DLC pack, and what are you most excited for about them?
Honestly, I'm kind of excited about them all equally. I think the least I just wouldn't really care for is Rain, but I'm really interested to see how Rambo plays. I don't know. I think he's either going to be hit or miss. To be honest, I think he's going to be extremely good or just it's okay.
Yeah, I can see that. I can definitely see that. Me personally, I'm looking forward to Rain. Hopefully, I'll be able to get some, lab tech from Slink when you're going to be sitting in the lab. Hopefully, I get some tech from you. Green, who are you looking forward to, and who are you most excited about their aspects?
So, I'm looking forward the most to Rain. I started
Rain
off
Gang.
fighting games in MK. Yeah, I started off MK9 after all the DLC was released. So I had Smoke and Rain as my top two favorite characters of all time in fighting games. I've always loved Rain. I love the whole bubble lifting him up, the lightning strike, the around the world kick. I just love the fact that here's a combo machine. I'm excited to see that he's pretty much the same down in MK11. Can't wait to go through, test him out, see how he's going to be. But I will say, even though most people don't like Melina, I'm kind of excited to see how she's going to work out because she does look pretty fun in this game, and I honestly may take her to the lab and check her out a couple times to see how she works.
Yeah, definitely want to check out Melina just to see how to punish her because she seems a bit scary, and I heard she has a command grab. Is that true? Does anybody know?
Yeah, she does have the command grab. It's like the 5-finger like knife game, which I think was a really nice touch. I think that's like one of the coolest things they put into the game.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, when it comes to the game in general, I feel like NRS did a really good job. They do a good job at like creating hype and having like these characters that we loved come to life and a great looking graphics and like the story is really good, but when it just comes down to the gameplay, that's where I feel like they fall short most of the time. So to bring this discussion to an end, let's start off with Rietzche. Rietzche, where can people find you if you want to drop your socials in chat or just tell everybody your Twitter or Instagram or what have you, by all means.
Oh,
I went ahead and put his Twitter in there.
Rietzche is free. Come on now.
We
Oh
got them
god.
so well without the trash tag going.
Yeah. You don't want to throw out your socials, Rietzche?
yeah, they can just follow me on Twitter at Rietche_. That's it.
Okay.
Ain't no one
Slink.
following you.
Slink, go ahead.
I mean, my Twitch and my Twitter and my Discord is all the same as my name, so
Slinksowavy, everybody. And
Yep.
Stryker, go ahead and do your spiel.
definitely no one is following him.
You know what? Can we kick him out the chat? All right. So, I mean, there's my Twitter. My Twitch is the same. So, you know, if you care to watch me mix people and think I'm good at the game, then there you go. I do want to start streaming after the 17th. I'm kind of taking a break from competitive play of the game right now. Can I have a sword for like 10 seconds? But
Oh god.
anyway, ignoring this rude person in the chat right now. It's very rude. Yeah, I do want to start streaming after the 17th. I'll be getting a PC soon, so the streams will be looking better. Maybe have music in the background and all that as I'm making people guess for their lives.
Oh, you gotta be careful
If
with that
Rietche comes
music
in my
now.
chat, he's auto-timed.
Mm.
And Slink's gonna be looking to get that new
Slink-
computer too.
yeah, Slink-
That's what's
Slink's
up.
also looking to be added to that list of timed out and Stryker streams, though.
Slink, you're gonna send raids over though, right? Emote only chat. Wait, is that actually real? Can I type something?
Yeah, that's
Okay, I just typed
actually
a
a thing.
random bullshit to see if it would work or not.
No, you have to. They have the mods have to put it on.
Oh,
Watch
okay.
Stryker, Dream Eater. Never mind.
And Green, if you
See?
want, you can throw out
See,
your
I
socials
got
too.
one supporter. I got one
Yeah,
supporter. There's two supporters. There's Cleve. All right, Cleve calls me a farmer.
You
So,
are a
if you
farmer,
guys
though.
do,
Can I explain the backstory behind the farmer?
All right,
Stryker
go
thing?
ahead,
No.
dude.
Yeah, go ahead.
So-
Please,
go ahead.
please.
I don't know if y'all noticed, but I
Yeah,
have this slightly southern accent, right?
more than slightly.
there.
Very apparent.
Get him out of here! Get him out!
Well, how day?
Okay, we're gonna get out of here, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the discussion. Green, get your thing in before I end this.
Yeah, so if you guys want to follow me on Twitter, it's going to be at GreenNinja223. And I'm also going to be streaming on Twitch at SilverSandbag. I'm starting out just new streamer, trying to get through it. I'm going to be streaming a lot more after the 17th. Going to be really try-harding with Rain. Going to be trying to become best streamer, good content creator, just overall great person to the communities I can be. If you guys want to hit me up, just go ahead and feel free to come by my streams. Just hit me up on Twitter whenever you guys want. It's gonna be a really, really good fun time. You guys can make fun of me if you want. I don't care. And all I gotta say.
Okay, dude, and I definitely want to follow this discussion up next week after the DLC comes out. So if you guys are cool with that, please save that date. And that will conclude the discussion for tonight. Seriously, thank you, and special shout outs to Stryker, Slinksowavy, and Rietche. Unfortunately, we were not able to get Hijinks in here tonight for the discussion, but thank you again. Please go give those guys some follows, give those guys some love, and we will do this again next week. So thank you guys. Seriously, thank you for taking your time out of your day to come discuss Mortal Kombat.
Thank you for having me and my cohorts.
Yeah, what's wrong?
What the hell?
That's a nice way of putting it.
My cohorts. All right, I will see you guys. Thank you again.